Hey everybody, Phoebe Rizzo to talk to the void once more. Well, looking at that stack of dollar store movies, I pulled up another one. ClownTown. Yeah. Oh boy. So, ClownTown. Where do I begin with this thing? So, this is a 2016 film. Very, 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 very loosely based on the 2014 incidents with scary clowns appearing ominously around California. So naturally, this is set in Ohio. Wow. The plot of this movie. Well, at its heart, it's your very basic group of college age people on a road trip, break down, and are assaulted by X. In this case, X is homicidal clowns. And that's pretty much your movie. That's your lot right there. It doesn't really go above and beyond that, with the exception of maybe the beginning. And I would say this is above. This is below, really, where the whole opening is essentially a Halloween ripoff. So, at first, it seemed like I was watching an entirely separate movie for the first opening scene. So, this bit has a babysitter looking after two kids. Not on Halloween. Not on Halloween, but you still get that kind of feel of babysitter, two kids, puts them to bed, and you get the impression one of the kids is kind of. And that kid starts running around in a clown outfit that looks pretty similar to young Michael Myers. And she ends up getting killed. That's the opening scene. Doesn't sound like it has a lot to do with the rest of it, does it? In fact, it was over halfway through the film that I realized how this was connected to the rest of the movie. Also, in the beginning, the family's last name is Strode. Ha. Ha ha ha. As in Laurie Strode from Halloween. I know it's been said many times, but never reference a better movie in your terrible movie. So, during that time period of babysitter and kids, they reference a train wreck. Cut to modern day, which is, I have no idea how long after. It doesn't tell you. It looks like it's the next day. But apparently, you find this out much later, that the kids from the beginning are some of the killer clowns. So it looks like it's been 10 plus years. You couldn't tell. It looks like it's the next day. Okay, so the beginning here is where I really have the most comments on, because the rest of it was just so by the numbers. So, before we get to, so first off, you have a babysitter just hanging around in a bikini top, because that's how you babysit, I guess. And of course, we have nudity before the 5-minute mark. Classy movie. Classy. Doesn't stop there. I mean, we have a fart joke before the 15-minute mark. Eh? Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So, a trash slasher film like this, you get what you're pretty much expecting. Well, actually, that might not even be true, because if you go for a Z-grade slasher, like ClownTown, you at least want some over-the-top kills. Something to grab onto in this movie. and it lets you down there too. The gore effects are unimpressive. The kills, unimaginative. And, I mean, the one that has a little bit of style, which is someone gets thrown into the back of a garbage truck and crushed, is so amateurishly done that it's... they do nothing with it. So, the general gist, like I was saying, is a group of 20-somethings are on a road trip to a concert in Ohio. One of them loses their phone and gets one trying to figure out what happened to it. They left it at a diner, call the phone, and oh, we'll bring it to this location, which happens to be an abandoned town. And while waiting for the phone to show up, they get assaulted by killer clowns. Group of 5 clowns, though at first it seems like it's only 3. Clown 4 and 5 don't appear till much later. But, I will say, some of the beginning things of just the clowns kind of stalking in the background, just standing there ominously looming, that was working. That was good. And one clown, most of the clowns are deathly silent, except for the girl clown. The other clowns usually don't say anything, except for the baseball bat clown. That's all they're really known by is in the credits. Just kind of some hissing things, which he was creepy. He was working pretty well. Crowbar clown's silent routine was okay. The clowns individually were creepy. Their makeup was good. Their ominous looming and demeanor, they were fine. The clowns themselves, I had no problem with. But when the clowns make a kill, there's just not much of a payoff. So one of the leads is gonna propose to his girlfriend. They introduce early on. That goes nowhere. They just mention it, that he wants to get engaged. Then they never touch on it again. So that's a drop plot line. And in fact, though, the other girl who goes missing, the other guy seems more invested in her than the guy who is about to propose. The acting isn't terrible, but it does fall a little flat at times. But it's most noticeable in the panic screaming. Now, those parts are clearly very ad-libbed, and you can tell just from how often things get repeated. I mean, one guy inventively gets put to a chair, his hands are nailed there, and as he's screaming panically, "No, I can't, my hands are nailed here," he just almost repeats that just a few times rather than showing any variation. It's like they've got 1 or 2 stock lines each panic scene, and they just repeat those. And that wasn't the only time that I noticed it. It was a couple times. Go, 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 he's right there. No, he's right there. Go, go, no, he's right there. Yeah, we can see that, and it's not adding anything. So I can see what they're trying to do at points, but their panic just seemed more... it wasn't... you didn't sympathize. It was more coming off as annoying. That doesn't help. I mean, the characters themselves weren't insufferable, like in Claw. That's going to be like one of my benchmark movies that I keep referencing. And the acting itself isn't nearly as bad as in that one or in Killjoy. I mean, most of the cast is is trying. They just aren't given really anything to work with. So this one, it's not heinously bad. It's just unimpressive, unimaginative, and it's just watching the same 4, maybe 5, depending on if they have picked up the straggler at that point. People running around and hiding from clowns, getting away, running again, hiding again, fighting a little bit, running away, hiding again, over and over and over. Now, the movie's only 86 minutes, so it's an in and out. They don't overplay it. Well, actually, no. They kind of do. In that short time, they managed to overplay just running from killer clowns. I mean, if the clowns had gone crazy over the top in what they were doing to the people, that would be something worth watching. or if the gore effects were amazing. Really feels more like Terrifier or the clown sequences from All Hallows Eve, where they had a killer clown and he was obscenely over the top to the point of disturbing. These clowns don't do that. They're just run of the mill, real boring slashers. He does hint a little bit of why the clowns are like they are, but barely. You kind of get the impression that they're just some people in clown makeup killing to get their jollies. I mean, one of them's clearly insane. Maybe two. Kind of gotta tell. They're all kind of connected to this one family. Sort of. Maybe. They never really clearly define it, and usually that could be more mysterious, but since it's half defined, it comes off as lazy rather than eerie. So, now I was struggling to place this one, because it isn't nearly as bad as most of the others on my one slot. It isn't as cheap as Easter Casket, nor even as cheap as Killjoy, and it's not as painful to sit through as Claw was. But just last time, I put Storage 24 at a 2, high end of 2, but a 2, and that one was better than this one by far. So I'm gonna not be able to even give this one a 2. It almost claws up it there, so this is gonna be a 1 MacGuffin. Only one. It almost got to 2, but it just needed something else to grab you, and it does not deliver that. Well, I guess this is more or less my Christmas episode, so killer clowns are obviously that. I probably have some Christmas-themed horror films around here. It's just I didn't put one on. No real reason. I'm not a holiday-themed mood, I guess. Maybe I should have. Well, happy holidays, everybody.